want to show here is a cool project that we're going to learn how to make, and this is called the tissue box project. As you can see here, I've gone ahead and designed and built myself a prototype tissue box. Now, what is a tissue box? Well, it's pretty simple. You take and pull off the top here, and you got your typical little tissue box that you would buy at, a store like Walmart or some kind of a place where you need, or a drugstore where you can use these tissues here. But we actually want to make our tissue box look a lot prettier by something that we're actually interested in. For me, I graduated from the University of Houston. And at the University of Houston, we take a lot of pride in being Cougars and our school colors and what we're all about. So in this tissue box that I created, I went ahead and put my University of Houston logo on, which I designed using Adobe Illustrator, and I lasered it out on a laser engraver. In fact, the one I actually used was known as a rabbit laser. It's actually from China, but it's actually sold here in the U.S. Then I also took out and I lasered out, but I used a scroll saw to make my initials, P for plaid, and over here the R for Richard. But how did I get there? What did I actually do? Well, in this project, it's actually a manual design build project. And what I start out with is, as you see here on my table, I've got my basic drafting instruments, I've got my 30-60-90, my eraser shield, my ruler, and then I've got my T-square, as you see here, laying on the table. Now, I also got some drafting tools like a technical pencil with a technical sharpener and my white eraser, and a lot of copy paper, because copy paper makes a great means by which to design and draft upon. Now, I'll also use my compass, as you see here, to actually do a design change from going from a square hole like you see here, or a rectangular hole like you see here. The reason we change it is because it's so much harder to make that versus, as you see here in this prime sample, of using a hole saw to create a round hole. It's faster, it's higher quality, and we don't have to worry about the orientation of the actual tissue box when we place it inside our tissue box cover. Now, before I get started, one of the things I like to do is to create a rendering. I want to create a concept sketch of what my actual tissue box could potentially turn out and look like. So I start off with some basic, pencils and colors, and I create myself a rough sketch, a concept sketch. As you see here, this is the top view, this is the front view, and this is the side view, or the right view. And this is my concept sketch that I create. And I, just use a pencil here and some colored pencils over here and maybe a ruler or a scale to actually create that. Once I've got that created, then I actually come back and I will create the actual engineering drawing by hand drafting and using manual methods to do that. I'll put this up on my website at richardplatt.net of these scanned drawings so you can see it much clearer. So there's my actual assembly drawing that I created. Here is my top view that I created, which I'll have to come back and modify to show the hole, as you see in the top of this tissue box. And then from there, I start creating the side faces of it, and this is the front face. And then I'll create the right side face as well. Then I'll start creating the letter designs that I need to create to cut this out. And as you can see, here's my R as I correctly designed it. Here's my letter P as I designed it. And then I'll take and copy those drawings, and then I'll take them and turn them upside down, and I'll trace on that the back side of it with a heavy dark pencil. And from that heavy dark pencil, I'll take and transfer that to a piece of MDF, as you see here. You see the letter R? And then from there, I'll go and cut that R out, as you see here with the scroll saw. Or, like on this example, I could use a laser engraver and Adobe Illustrator. Well, actually on this project, we're going to use both. And here you can see, again, the letters P transferred to the MDF, and it actually cut out. Well, once I got this all done, then I'll start working on my additional parts that I need to create. Like here's the top part that I created from my drawing. Here's the front part with the grain going horizontal. Here's the back. And then I'll actually create myself these particular parts right here. These parts are actually templates that I use to create a fixture using my power miter box saw. I'll clamp these down to the power miter box saw, and I'll go ahead and use that to cut out my actual parts from the wood I get at my home improvement store like Lowe's or Home Depot. So as you see, it's a pretty involved process of doing design to manufacturing. But this process that we're going through is what everyone goes through when they actually make a product that they can sell either online or through a retailer. So let's get started working on our design for our logo in the front. Now I've got this one as University of Houston, but maybe I want to come back, and since I got this open spot, and put my interlocking initials like the R and the P. Kind of what I'm thinking about is taking an R like you see here, and then taking and linking the actual P letter into that, as you can see right here. So I'll take and link those two together where they become an interlocking logo. And then we'll do that to where it scales down and fits on that face, the blank face of our tissue box. Well, again, this is going to be something that we'll get a lot of use out of and have a lot of pride, so let's get started.